I'm Christy. Today I want to talk about the end is in sight. Once again, a lot has happened since I last updated you. The end is now definitely in sight. And admittedly, I'm rather relieved and a bit sad. As expected, we now qualify for SSI. I got a phone call on a Saturday morning. The gal who took our application originally called to update the file and say that we had been officially approved. It took another week or two to see anything in the mail. But we've now received our first check, which is part of the back pay that they owe us. If it's over a certain amount, they break it up. We'll get the rest in 6 months, but we'll receive the monthly amount in between. If we're owed any more than the 2 payments of back pay, there would be a third one at 6 months after the second, with the balance. Fortunately, the 2 payments will catch us up. Unfortunately, that's not the end of the SSI saga. Now we need to go into our local office and take care of several issues. We opened a checking account, so we need to switch his monthly deposits to that account. There's a form I needed to complete and turn in so that I can get information at any time without having to put AJ on the phone to get permission to talk to me. We also need to provide proof that he's now paying rent so that he'll qualify for the full SSI amount. Finally, I need to inform them that AJ has a job and get a ticket to work. I still need to understand how all of this works, so I need to do a bit of research before we head down to the office. Hopefully, we'll be able to head down there before the end of the month and get all of this taken care of. Phew, that's one huge weight off my shoulders. Well, almost. Now, everyone says that Medicaid comes with SSI. However, I still haven't seen anything about AJ's receiving it, nor received an ID card or anything like that. I did receive a letter stating that he's on the waiting list for a Medicaid waiver or variant in our state. He'll switch to that variant as soon as a spot opens up. Now, I need to ask more details about that as well. As far as housing goes, we are officially on the waiting list. I'm waiting for more details to see exactly what that means and try and get an idea of how long the wait might be. I've been told there's no way to tell how long it would be, but I don't have any further information, so I'm going to see if I can get more. In the meantime, I'm also still looking into other living communities. I need to do more, but I've started researching and reaching out. At least one of the locations is actually taking applications at the moment. I've reached out, but have yet to hear back. I want to look into a number of other options as well. Last week, I had AJ's exit IEP for his individualized education plan. This means that effective the 25th of May, 2022, he will no longer have an IEP or be receiving any support from our local school district. Actually, it was rather anticlimactic. It was a short phone call with his teacher, with another teacher in the room listening in. We officially agreed to end services, talked for another minute or two, and then the teacher had to go because he had another IEP meeting to get to. I kind of had to chuckle at how simple and anticlimactic it was, especially after so many years of doing IEP meetings. And just like that part of my life is now complete. IEPs are now a thing of the past, forever. After almost 20 years, it seems weird to think that I won't have to do them anymore. I'm blessed that I never had to fight too hard to get the services that the boys needed. Now, Sean had an IEP for speech for about 7 or 8 years, so those years I had 2 IEP meetings a year. A lot of that was because what I thought they needed was in line with what the teachers and therapists thought they needed. And so it was easy to come to an agreement. I think it also helped that we lived in a middle to upper middle class area where these kinds of supports are seen as necessary, and we had both boys in schools connected to our local school district. Now, AJ's job skills program is also coming to an end. While he could technically stay through the end of the summer for that summer rotation, even without his IEP, we've elected to have him end the program at the end of this rotation, which ends at the end of our school year. The biggest factor is that AJ has a job he'll be starting soon, but more about that next week. Looking back over the time spent in this program, I'm incredibly grateful. Over the 3-ish years in this program, he learned a lot of new things. He improved some skills he already had and developed new skills that will serve him well going forward. Even through COVID and all of that time spent online, he learned new things and was exposed to topics and things that he needs to learn to be able to thrive independently apart from me. And this program has kept him engaged and moving, something that is definitely not his default if he's here at home. It's another one of those bittersweet moments. I'm so proud of him and all that he's learned and accomplished. Yet I'm also a bit saddened to see this phase end. But I'm also excited to see him continue to mature and move on to the next phase of his life, right on time. With that, I'm going to end this video. I've got a few more topics to provide an update on next week. Like I said at the beginning, a lot has happened. Overall, I'm super excited about where things stand. And it's nice to see this phase of obtaining transitions coming to a close because they're all in place. It's another bittersweet moment, but definitely a good one. So my question for you this week is this: what areas are you able to see the finish line for in your big journey? I'd love to hear your update. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in May of 2022. If you prefer, you can always email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. I'm still waiting for complete closure and completion, but grateful that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.